Alright folks, so it's no secret that LEGO is absurdly expensive. It's been getting more and more expensive by the decade. If you look back in the early 2000s, it was a pretty decently well-priced toy. Nowadays, it is on the expensive end, mostly due to collectors. There are numerous factors as to why this toy has inflated so heavily. Today I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about some of the sets that have inflated so heavily in terms of price, and maybe discuss why they might be that way. Now, just a disclaimer, everything in this video is my own opinion. I am a supporter of LEGO. I buy LEGO actively. I'm a collector. I've spent hundreds of, if not thousands of dollars on LEGO. So I feel like if anyone is able to criticize the brand, it's someone who's a true fan. So anyway, in this video, we'll be going over some sets that I've seen that I think are a little bit too overpriced. This first one here is one that I absolutely had to talk about, and this one might even be the reason for this video. This is the X-Men XJet, which is a set that came out this year. If we look at the piece count, it has 359 pieces. This is what you're getting here for $85 US, which is a crazy price. I don't know what they were thinking with that. If we look at the set, when I first saw pictures of this going around on the internet, I looked at it and I was like, okay, probably $40, maybe $50, even $50 would be too much here. $85 is way too much for this, and I think there's a couple different reasons as to why. First of all, this is the first X-Men set that we have had in a long time, at least one with proper minifigures, and I think LEGO was maybe trying to capitalize off of that. They were thinking people would solely buy this for the minifigures. It's the first time we're getting a Rogue minifigure other than Comic-Con figures as well. I think another reason for the insane price though is that sometimes LEGO just likes to test the market. They'll throw this out there into stores at a price point of $85 and just see if people will buy it at that price point. And if people do, then they're going to keep raising the prices on LEGO sets. If we look at this set though, it's not a bad set. I really don't think it's a bad set. I think it's well designed. For $85 though, no, it's not justified for $85. If this was $50 or $40, I would consider buying it. One more reason I want to throw out there as to why this thing might be overpriced, and I could be completely wrong here, it's just a theory, but there have been rumors going around about an X-Mansion set coming out within the next year or so, possibly a modular style X-Mansion set. And I think that this thing might be overpriced because it might be a companion set to that set. That set might not include an XJet, and this XJet might be functional with that set. Again, it's just a theory, but if we look at what they did with the UCS Hulkbuster set, they came out with an Iron Man figure before that set, which was completely compatible, and they were hoping that both of those sets would sell actively because of their compatibility. Another set that I'm going to briefly talk about, because I have talked about it in another video, which I will link in the description, is the Hoopty from Captain Marvel. This set is notorious for being overpriced. If we look at it, it has 420 pieces at a $90 price point. I'm not so sure what LEGO was thinking with this one. My only explanation here is, again, that they were probably testing the market or something of that sort, seeing what consumers would buy at what price. Because you look at this here and it looks like maybe a $40, $50 set, 60 might be stretching it, but $90 for this is absolutely insane. You only have 3 minifigures here. There isn't even an antagonist for this ship to fight in this set. It has decent interior, which you can kind of see on the box here, but either way, most of this thing is hollow. There's not a whole lot of functionality to it. I really think $90 is asking way too much. And this set was on sale for about $70 a couple weeks ago, and it's no longer on sale, which is kind of interesting to me. This next one here is one that I wanted to discuss because I was looking through the LEGO Minecraft sets recently, and this one kind of took me off guard. This is the Pumpkin Farm, a set with 257 pieces, priced at $40. Now most of the time, Minecraft sets are actually pretty decent price-wise. They've got some big parts in most of the sets. It's mostly those massive bricks, so if the price to part ratio is on point, then the set is oftentimes a good deal. This one though, for some reason, they priced it at a $40 price point, and I'm not entirely sure why. There's not really a lot going on here. If you look at this pumpkin house as well, it is very slim going around the side. This thing is cut off, it's cut in half, that dollhouse style of Lego set. Look at that. It just cuts right off. It's half of a pumpkin in reality. I don't know what they were thinking for $40 for this one. There is not enough going on here for $40, and there's not really any desirable characters or anything either, because we have gotten a witch minifigure before. This is another one that I wanted to point out. In terms of Star Wars sets, I think recently this is probably one of the worst contenders when we're looking at price. This is the Yavin 4 Rebel Base set, 1,066 pieces for $170 here. Now, most of the reason that they priced it at this point, I would say there's two reasons. The first is that it is an 8+ set, so they're going to price it at a higher point because it's for younger kids and supposedly it has bigger pieces. The second reason that they overpriced this thing is because this is the first time that we have received a Yavin 4 set in LEGO. The Yavin 4 base is iconic to Star Wars, and we've seen it in the video games. We've seen lots of custom builds of this thing, but we've never actually got a set. This was highly anticipated when it was announced, and then we got pictures, and it's kind of disappointing. I really kind of wish they would have gone the more collectible route with this one, kind of making it in the style of the Mos Eisley Cantina, or making it in the style of the Cloud City set that they came out with a couple years back, but instead they made it primarily a play set, and I think it's kind of disappointing. This is another one I wanted to mention because naturally we always see these 4+ sets priced really high for the amount of pieces that they have. And supposedly the reason for that is because they have big pieces, right? So that there's still the same amount of plastic, but you're just paying more for less parts because the parts are bigger. They take up more room. I don't think that's the case with a lot of these though. This one is called the Velociraptor Escape. It has 137 pieces for $40. Now, if we look at this thing, I think that the box is kind of doing some trickery here. It's kind of making it seem bigger than it actually is. There's not a lot going on here. It doesn't even have a big dinosaur. It doesn't have like a Triceratops or a T-Rex or anything. It has one of these Velociraptors, and I've seen these things in $20 sets before, so I know that that's not a reason to raise the price. If we look at what it has in terms of structure here, this is it's kind of a pathetic build. A $40 build right here? No. $30 build? I don't even know if I'd go that far. This is like a $20 build, maybe $25, and it's not the best looking thing either. Another category of set I want to talk about are train sets, and I started out, I was just going to talk about the sets with just the tracks in them, right? Because you're getting 20 pieces here, 20 train tracks for $20. So if we're looking at that, that's a dollar per track piece. I don't know how I feel about that in general. If we're just looking at train sets on their own, trains in LEGO for some reason are so expensive now. And a lot of this is because it's motorized, right? But either way, $190 for 764 pieces, even if there's some motorization there, I don't think that that's a good price for this thing. Furthermore, they have all of these train track bundles in LEGO. You've got the switch track sets right here, you got normal tracks right here, you have the motors for them, all that sort of stuff. And LEGO really has not been producing a lot of trains that are compatible with these tracks as of late. And when they do, they're so expensive. The only ones I see here that are compatible with the tracks, this is not. This is a mini train. The Orient Express train is compatible with the tracks, but it's not really intended that way. It's intended more as a display model. The Express Passenger train, that's one that's compatible. Freight train, super overpriced there, but that is one that's compatible. And that's it. That's all I see. I guess this Hogwarts train would be. This Hogwarts train is not. This Hogwarts train is too big. The train station right here doesn't even include a train. If they're selling these train tracks, if they're trying to push the train brand, they should be coming out with more trains and they should be pricing them at appropriate price points. This is the last one I'm going to talk about for today's video. This is the Batmobile tumbler, or the Batman tumbler, whatever you want to call it. The tumbler from Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. This one kind of surprised me because I remember the first version of this set coming out back in like 2010, 2011, whenever it may have been, probably a little bit later than that. And it had around the same piece count. I think it was in the 1900s in terms of pieces, but it was priced at $200. This one now only has about 100 more pieces, and it's $70 more. That doesn't really add up mathematically for me. Even if we're taking inflation into account, I think the most this thing should be is like $220, $230, maybe $240. $270 is really overdoing it here. I'm surprised this thing is still even on the market in the first place because I didn't even realize it was. This one does have those two figures, the Heath Ledger Joker as well as the Christian Bale Batman. I still don't think that's a reason for it to be overpriced. You cannot use collectability as an excuse to overprice something. This thing should really be like $220, $230 at most. That's all I've got for you guys today. I just wanted to make a quick little video about how LEGO has been overpricing their sets. Again, I'm a huge fan of LEGO, and I'm a huge fan of 90% of the stuff that they put out there. but a lot of the times when they have good sets, like this XJet, for example, I think this is a good set, but their price point is just crazy, and it really kind of disappoints me when that sort of thing happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know about a set that you've seen that's been overpriced that maybe you've been disappointed in. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. As always, I appreciate your guys' support. Bye-bye.